Is Vijay from CUET 100, and here in this session we are going to discuss previous year questions of the general test. We are going to discuss questions on percentages topic that were asked in different slots of the general test in CUET UG 2022. These all are actual questions. Here is your first question. If 20% of a number is 30, then the number is. We all know that 20% is 20 divided by 100, that is 1 by 5. So in other words, you are being asked that if 1 by 5 of a number is 30, then what is the number? Right, number of course would be 5 times 30, that is 150. This question had appeared on 6th of August 2022 slot. Answer B, of course. 15 kg is what percent of 50 kg? In 50 kg, 15. So in 100, just 2 times 30. So in percentage terms, this is 30%. So this is your answer. And please keep one more thing in mind, that here 15 kg as a fraction of 50 kg is 15 by 50. That is 3 by 10. Okay, but this is not your answer. You are not being asked that what fraction of 50 is 15. But there's one more thing. 3 by 10 as a fraction, in order to convert it to percent, just multiply it with 100, right? Don't you get 30? Okay? Yes, they ask only simple questions in the general test, right? Answer A. X percent of 24 is equal to 10% of 72. All right, we need to understand it well. X percent of 24 is what? 24 into x by 100, right? This is equal to 10% of 72. So 72 into 10 by 100, right? You can cancel these two. Now 24x is 720. So x is 30. From here straight away you get x is 30. We never needed to do this much. In such questions, x percent of 24 is 10% of 72, right? So straight away 24 3 times 72, right? So here, in order to compensate for this x would be 3 times 10%, so 30. Of course, answer A. 2.56 expressed as a percent of 1.6 is. Now this is not a question, this is a joke. I'll tell you why. 2.56 is certainly more than 1.6. All right. So this is certainly more than 100% of 1.6. There are 3 options that are below 100%. So straight away, this is your answer. Got it? Even if this does not strike you, then you will take probably 30 more seconds. 2.56 is 1.6 into 1.6 is equal to 1.6 into 160 by 100, right? Concentrate on 160. This is your answer. All right. And mind you, 2.56 expressed as a percent of 1.6 is 160%. But it is only 60% more. What I'm trying to say, that let's compare two numbers, 2 and 3. 3 is 150% of 2, but it is only 50% more. You need to be very clear about this. Answer, of course, C. 5% of 10% of rupees 100. First of all, get 10% of rupees 100. Do you need to calculate it? No, this is 1/10 of 100, that is 10, right? Or by the definition of percent. All right, 10% of 100 would be 10. A percent of 100 would be A. X percent of 100 would be X. Now we need to get 5% of this 10. So 10 into 5 by 100, or straight away 5% means 1 by 20. 5% of a thing is nothing but 1 by 20 of the thing, right? One and the same thing. So this will give you 0.5. That's your answer. Yes. 0.03 is x percent of 0.3. All right, what's the value of x? You should be able to do such questions in 2 to 3 seconds. Yes, you don't have to put pen on paper or pencil on paper in order to do them. But here, in order to explain it to you. 0.03 is equal to 0.3 by 10 is equal to 0.3 into 10 by 100. So this gives you answer. This is 10%. B. What percent of 3 metric ton is 90 quintals? You need to understand two terms first. A metric ton is nothing but 1000 kgs. Quintal, I'm sure you know. I'm sure you know metric ton as well. Quintal is 100 kgs. Alright, so here basically the question is, what percent of 3000 is 9000? 90 into 100, that is 9000. So 9000 is 3 times, 9000 is 3 times 3000. So that is straight away 300%. Isn't that? Again, 9000 is 200% more than 3000, but is 300% of 3000. Clear? Another joke. Match list 1 with list 2. You get many such questions in the CUET UG, not only in the general test, in other tests as well. 1 by 20 we know is straight away 5%. Okay. 1 by 5 is 20%. Just stop here. Look for A3B4. A3B4 is there in only one of the options. So that is the answer. What is the value of 70% of 420 plus 30% of 280? 420 is a dangerous number. Alright, I'm sure you all are aware of section 420 of the Indian Penal Code. You may be asked this question in the GT, in the general test. Alright. Now, 70% of 420 is what? 70 into 420 divided by 100. So, 42 into 7 practically. 42 into 7 is what? 40 into 7 plus 2 into 7. So, 280 plus 14, that is 294. Got it? Plus 30% of 280. 30% of 280 is nothing but 3 into 28, that is 84. If you take the sum of these two numbers, you get 378. Yes, it was as simple as this. What is the value of x if x% of 142 plus 30% of 280 is 368? Alright, x% of 142 is equal to 368 minus 30% of 280. 30% of 280 is 30 into 280 by 100, that is 28 into 3, that is 84. Take out 84, you get 284. Now look at 284. 284 is 2 times 142. 284 is 2 times 142. So we can say that 284 is 200% of 142, or 284 is 100% more than 142. But here your answer is of course 200. What is the value of x if x% of 1080 plus 85% of 420 is 735? Alright, 85% of 420 means 100% of 420 minus 15% of 420. Look at this number 420. First of all, I do not know why is the CUET UG in love with this number 420, right? So, 10% of 420 would be just 42, 1 by 10 of this. 5% would be 21, because 10% is 42, so 5% is half of that. So, 15% would be 63. Alright, take out 63 from this. What do you get? Tell me what do you get? 357. Right. So, x% of 1080 is actually 735 minus 357. And how much do you get from this subtraction? 8, right. 12 minus 5, 7. And then here you are left with 6, 378. Right. Now look at 1080. So we know that x% of 1080 is 378. Right. Now 10% of 1080 would be 108. So can we write 378 as 108 plus 108 plus 108 plus half of 108, that is 54. 10%, 10%, 10%, 5%, 35%. This is your answer. This is how CUET 100 expects you to do these questions, not that you get into unnecessary calculations. So, see, 25% of an electricity bill is deducted, then 375 is still to be paid. How much was the original bill? 25% is deducted, so how much is left? 75%. And this 75% is equivalent to 375, right? So 25% is equivalent to, look, this is 1/3. So here also you take 1/3, 125. Now 75% and 25% is 100%. So here 375 plus 125 is 500. And anyway, 25% discount means you're being charged 3/4. So if 3/4 of a number is 375, the actual number would be 375 into 4 by 3, that is 500. Either way, right? This is the answer, of course. In a library, 50% books are in Hindi. 30% of the remaining books are in English, not of the overall books. Never commit this blunder, right? So, 50% of the books are in Hindi, so 50% left. 30% of the 50% is equal to 15%, right? So, 15% books are in English, and this 15% is equivalent to 2400, right? So 50% would be equivalent to what? Okay. Now, two ways of doing this. 2400 into 50 by 15, right? You cut it short, you will get your answer. But a more scientific way of looking at it, that look at 50. This is 15 into 3 plus 15 into 1 by 3. Alright, so on this side also you do the same thing. 2400 into 3 plus 2400 into 1 by 3. That is 7200 plus 800. This gives you 8000. Either way, become very comfortable with calculations. You don't have a choice here, right? A boy secures 70%, 40% and 60% marks in test papers with 100, 50 and 150 marks. Okay. 70% of 100 is 70, 40% of 50 is 20, 60% of 150 is 1.5 times 60, that is 90. So here the total is 90 plus 90, 180. So it actually gets 180 marks out of 300. If you get 180 out of 300, your percentage is 60. I'm sure you're enjoying this session. If you are, what stops you from giving us a thumbs up? Share this video with all your friends. Do not leave a single friend, right? Subscribe to CUET 100 and press the bell icon hard, very hard, so that we keep you informed and updated. Question number 15 now. I paid 6% sales tax while buying an article that cost 600 rupees. Alright, and please keep one thing in mind. All three forms of cost is cost. Cost, cost, cost. Costed is not a word in English. Okay, so let's get back to maths. I paid 6% sales tax while buying an article that cost 600 rupees. 6% of 600 is 36, right? I paid 10% sales tax while buying another article that cost 16,000. 10% of 16,000 would be how much? 1/10 of 16,000, that is 1600. Alright, so this person paid a total of 1636 as sales tax. Now 1636 out of how much? 16,600. This one plus this one put together. So you have to get 1636 divided by 16600 into 100 in order to get the percentage, right? I'm sure you're smart enough to calculate that yourself, and your answer is option B. If each side of a square is decreased by 10%, find the percentage decrease in its area. Okay. Let's assume that initially all the sides are of 10. So, the area is 100. Area is 100, right? Subsequently, you decrease all the sides by 10%. 10% decrease means 1/10. So, now the sides of the squares would be 9. Area would be 81. Okay. So, if 100 becomes 81, there is a loss of 19%. Decrease of 19%. One way. Another way, many of you are very fond of the formula A plus B plus AB by 100. Right. Here, A is equal to B is equal to minus 10. So, put it here, minus 10 plus minus 10 into minus 10 divided by 100. That is minus 20 plus 1 is equal to minus 19. So, effectively 19% decrease. Any doubt? No, you cannot have. If P is x percent of y, x percent of y would be what? Y into x by 100. This is P. And Q is y percent of x. Y percent of x would be what? X into y by 100. Oh ho, on both the sides you have yx by 100. Can you see that? So, of course, P is equal to Q, isn't that? 2% of 3 is equal to 3% of 2. 15% of 3000 is equal to 3000% of 15. Like this. Okay? What percent decrease in salaries would exactly cancel the 20% increase? Let the initial salary be 100. Okay? If there is 20% increase, this will become 120. In order to cancel this increase, right, you need to subtract it by 20. Why? Then 120 will become 100 again, right? Now, when you decrease 20 out of 120, 20 out of 120, in percentage terms, it is 1 by 6 of 100, that is 16.67% or 16 2 by 3%. Right? Please keep that in mind. So, this is your answer. Never commit the blunder of thinking that if something increases by 20%, to get back to the same level, you need to reduce it by 20%. CUET is not a very smart paper. Otherwise, they would have given one of the options as 20%. Right? But here the answer is 16 2 by 3%. Please keep that in mind. Now, a town had a population of 20,000 in 1980. In 1 year, i.e. 1981, it increased by 25%. Next year, in 1982, it decreased by 20%. Okay. The next year, in 1983, there was an increase of 30%. What is the population at the end of 1983? If you read this question carefully, in 5 seconds, you would get the answer. In the previous question, we had seen that if you increase something by 20%, to get back to the previous level, you need to reduce it by 16 2 by 3% or 16.67%. If you increase something by 25%, to get back to the same level, you need to reduce it by only 20%. So, look what happens here. Initially, it is 20,000, right? You increase it by 25%, it will become 125 divided by 100. Then you decrease it by 20%. If you decrease something by 20%, it will become into 80 by 100. Right. Now, 125 into 80 is 10,000. So, these two factors cancel out. That is what you need to keep in mind. So, after 2 years, you are back to square one. The population is still 20,000. Alright. And then you increase it by 30%. So, when 20,000 is increased by 30%, 30% of 20,000 would be 6,000. Your answer is 26,000. I do not think you needed any calculations here. Alright. Of course. 2 employees X and Y are paid a total of 4,500 per week by their employer. Okay. If X is paid 125% of the sum paid to Y. Okay. So, if Y got 100, X got 125. Mind you, you are not being told that x got 125% more than y. You are being told that x got 125% of what y got. Alright, so the ratio would be 5:4. Okay, now you need to divide 4500 in the ratio 5:4. So that is straight away 2500 and 2000. Isn't that right? So your answer is 2000. Another way of looking at it could be that if x is paid 125%, so x is definitely getting more than y. Okay, so of the overall, x is certainly getting more than half. Look at stupid options like 3000 and 4000. They are anyway gone. And 1000 is too less. So your answer had to be 2000. If you just observe the question and the options carefully, you will get the answer is 2000. I do not think any calculation is needed here. Right? If each side of a square is increased by 20%, we have done a similar question, right? Find the percentage increase in its area. Again, let's assume the side of the square to be 10. So the area would be 10 into 10, 100, right? If you increase each of the sides by 20%, 20% of 10 would be just 2. So 10 will become 12. Now the area would be 144. So if 100 becomes 144, the percentage increases 44%. Any doubt? Now again, the category that is in love with a plus b plus ab by 100 for successive changes. Here basically you are going for two successive increase of 20%, and a is equal to b is equal to plus 20. So do that business. 20 plus 20 plus 20 into 20 by 100. This also gives you, of course, 44. If each edge of a cube is increased by 25%, again something similar, right? Here you need to use a plus b plus ab by 100 two times. Do 25 plus 25 plus 25 into 25 by 100 to start with, right? This gives you 56.25. Alright, but we have taken care of only two increase of 25%. We need to factor in the third one as well. So 56.25 plus 25 plus 56.25 into 25 by 100. 1 by 4 of 56.25, right? This is roughly 14.06, right? So 56.25 plus 25 plus 14.06, 25 plus 14.06 is 39.06. So 56.25 and 39.06, this gives you 95.31%. But someone like me does not prefer this. For me, straight away 25% increase. Let the side of the cube be 4 initially. And why 4? Because if I increase 4 by 25%, it becomes 5. The volume is 64. When I increase each of the edges by 25%. Now, here in this cube, each of the edges is 5, so volume would be 125. So 64 increases by 61, so answer is 61 by 64 into 100. I'm sure this too will give you 95.31%. Any doubt? Hey, any doubt? Okay. The price of cooking gas has increased by 25%. By what percent should a family reduce the use of cooking gas so as not to increase the expenditure on this account? Again, we have already done at least 2-3 such questions. Okay. But just for your ease, I'll tell you the shortcut that how to get the answer to this question in maybe 1.5 seconds. So, there are two things: consumption into price per unit is equal to expenditure. Let's assume that initially you were consuming 100 units of cooking gas, and the price was also 100. So you were paying 10,000. Now the price of cooking gas has increased by 125. So this has become 125 now. But you want this to stay at 10,000. Okay. So this would be 10,000 divided by 125, right? That is 80. So this will become 80. So this will reduce by 20%. So this is your answer. But you don't have to think this much. Straight away, if you increase something by 25%, to get back to the same level, you need to reduce it by 20%. You have already seen it, because if 100 becomes 125, in order to get back to 100, you need to take out 25 out of 125. Now 25 as a fraction of 125 is 1/5, that is 20%, right? So if you increase something by 25% to get back to the same level, you need to reduce it by 20%. Okay, that applies here as well. There's your answer. What is the exact percentage of a pay cut that will counteract the 20% increase? Again, the same thing. So 100 becomes 120. Why? Because there's a hike of 20%. Now you reduce 120 by 20 to make it 100. Now 20 as a fraction of 120 is 20 by 120, right? That is 1 by 6. And 1 by 6 in percentage terms is 1 by 6 into 100, that is 16.2 by 3%. Any doubt? Again, x percent of 25 is 2.125. Now 10% of 25, 10% of 25 would be 2.5. This is less than 2.5. So in the right hand side, we should have something less than 10. There is only one figure that is less than 10. So please do not get into calculations. Straight away, A is 3. A is 3. Oh, that is there in two options. 9% of x is 6.3. You have 9 here and this is 6.3, a multiple of 7. So look for a multiple of 7 here. Oh, it's here. So A is 3 and B is 1. A is 3, B is 1. Not this. So this is my answer. All right. Do not waste time. Do not waste time. All right. Okay. A box consists of 28 mangoes and 46 bananas. Mangoes, bananas total, right? 28 mangoes and 46 bananas. How many bananas must be removed from the box so that 70% of the pieces of fruit in the box are mangoes? Only bananas are to be removed. So this will remain 28. But now this is 70% of the total. 70% of which number would be 28? 70% of 40 would be 28. So number of bananas now should be 12. Initially it was 46. Now it has to become 12. So you need to reduce it by 34. Actually, this question was in my slot last year. Alright, so your answer is C. And please do join our Telegram group and get lots of previous year papers and some more gyan. Alright, and if you like this effort, what stops you from giving us a thumbs up? Please share this with your friends and foes. Subscribe to CUET 100 if not done already. Press the bell icon hard in order to stay updated and informed. All the best.